Hi, and welcome back to Buff's Vintage Bikes. So in this video, I'd like to take you through the quick restoration of this Diamond Back Sorrento that I recently restored for a guy by the name of William. I'd like to share with you how I came about this bike and how I came about restoring it for William. William's a door-to-door salesman. He makes these little wooden signs or little bird houses, and he paints motivational messages on them. And then he goes door to door and he sells them. So the one afternoon, as I was busy restoring a bike in the garage, William popped by as he was doing his rounds, and he had a chat to me. He basically asked if I had possibly had an old bike that he could purchase from me, because he's in desperate need of one in his line of work. He often has to take a taxi from quite a distant place to get to the different neighborhoods to sell his signs, and he's always carrying his signs with him, normally in a backpack. And obviously walking door to door, he has to cover a vast area. Basically had a heart-to-heart with me, saying how he thought maybe a bicycle would be a better mode of transport currently than walking everywhere he goes, and that his son could use a bicycle as well. So William's obviously not a very wealthy man, not in monetary terms, and I wouldn't imagine in his line of work he generates huge profit margins. So I said to him I'd keep an eye out for something, and if a bargain came along I'd let him know. So requests like this aren't unusual in South Africa. We unfortunately have a large part of our population that live underneath the breadline, and begging is common on the streets. William, however, is no beggar. He's a hard-working individual. But there's something else that's very special about William. William will knock on your door in the middle of winter, with the wind howling and the rain pouring outside, and you can be guaranteed when you open that door, you will be met with a smiling face and a positive attitude. I'm not quite sure how he does it. It's quite remarkable sometimes. He's one of those people that's a giver. When they have left your presence, you somehow feel encouraged or inspired and certainly thankful. It's a special character trait of William's, and one I don't even think he's aware he possesses. That's what makes him kind of special. So once William had left, I'd been keeping an eye out for an old bike that I could possibly restore for him, briefly a donated bike, but nothing really popped up. And it's probably 2 months that had passed when about 2 weeks ago I got a WhatsApp message on a friends group, and one of my friends, Gary, was asking if we possibly know of anybody who could make do with his old 26er, because he had recently acquired a new gravel bike, and he felt this bike was too large for his daughters and it wasn't really being utilized. And of course this was the moment I had been waiting for, and I'd put up my hand and I asked Gary if he'd be kind enough to donate the bike for a good cause. And so it ended up that I had a perfectly usable 26er in my garage. Needed a bit of love and attention. The bike was a little neglected, by Gary's own admission. And I immediately began to pull it apart and give it some tender love and care in preparation for William. Lo and behold, the very night Gary drops off the bike with me, there's a knock on the door, and guess who's standing there? Yep, William. He must have just known. So without giving the game away, I mentioned to him that I might have stumbled across a bargain buy for him, and if he came around in another week or so's time, I'll hopefully have some news for him. So once William left, I wasn't left with much time to get this bike ready. I know William normally does his rounds every 2 weeks or so in the neighborhood, so I dropped the restoration I was busy with, and I got to servicing this bike and cleaning it up as best I could. And what you see here is the finished product that was going to be presented to William as a donation to make his life easier, for either himself to deliver his signs better and more far afield, or for his son to get to school and back, or possibly for both. I've got a feeling they'll be sharing this bike. Before I introduce you to William, I'd just like to give a shout out to Mark at Mark's Bicycle Workshop, who kindly donated that SLX changer and also donated a used set of 26er tires for the bike, which it was in desperate need of. So this is William, and William's a gentleman that I felt the need to honor because you can't see it at the moment, but this is typical Cape weather. It's been raining the entire day outside. It's miserable out there, it's cold, and yet William is going door to door and he's selling his placards and his garden signs that he makes. William, you want to just show us what the kind of things that you make, you know?
This one. This is the board.
So William makes these signs with these little inspirational quotes on them. They're like, born to relax, forced to work. And there's one of the Afrikaans ones. And this is not all that he does. He does bird feeders and things like that. And then he goes door to door to sell these things. And William, tell me you take a taxi every day to get here.
Yes, yes.
So do you service different suburbs at different days?
Yes, I go to different areas. Like Brackenfell, I go to Edgemead, I go to Bedabbenville, Belleville also, I do it, Boston also.
Okay, and then you just walk everywhere?
Yes, I just walk street to street.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, and with this COVID story, and are you not nervous of utilizing taxis and stuff like that?
Yeah, but just to be careful, use my mask and look after myself.
Yeah,
yes,
absolutely. Yeah.
Give a certain distance with the people.
Yeah.
Yes, that's
okay.
all.
You must be careful out there. It's
yes.
dangerous times at the moment. So,
yes,
I don't know if you can remember a couple of months ago you said to me that a bicycle will help change things for you.
Yes, I did say so. Yes.
So I unfortunately haven't had the opportunity to find a bicycle for you until recently.
Yes.
So I've been waiting for an opportunity, and a good friend of mine
yes.
phoned me the other day, or actually sent a message on WhatsApp, and he said he's got a bicycle. Does anyone know someone who could utilize it? So I put my hand up first, and I got a bicycle, and I pulled this thing apart and I serviced it, and I put new cables and stuff in it. And I want to tell you, William, as an individual who, to me, you've got a hard life.
Yes,
because you're working on days like this where some of us are sitting in luxury, that you are an inspiration to people.
Yes,
and I don't think you sometimes realize that. Okay, you're an honest individual, you work a hard life, you're in an honest living, and tonight I want to reward you with this bicycle behind us.
Yes, thank you.
And I want you to either use this with your family or use it to make your life a little bit easier.
Yes, sir.
Maybe not on weather like this, but
sir.
maybe on the days in summer where it's sunshine,
Yes, sir.
you can utilize this bicycle to be able to deliver your signs and just get things done a little bit easier.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Yeah, appreciate it.
I don't know how you're going to get it home tonight in this weather.
Yeah, I will see. It's weather is bad.
Or you're welcome to leave it here and fetch it when you can.
When the weather is fine.
Yes, when the weather is better.
Yes, I'll do it, sir. I'll do so. This one. Yes, it's nice. Yeah, it's lovely. It will help my son also to go to school.
Wonderful.
Yes,
wonderful.
I'm glad for that.
Yeah, and I can help you to set it up as well, to get the saddle the right height and stuff like that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Nice. Nice, lovely.
Yeah. Just don't wipe out in the garage.
I'm happy.
And that's how William came to own his own bicycle. Something so many of us take for granted in this world. And yet he is a happy, humble individual, pleased to receive an old 26 as a gift. A bike that is probably going to change the life of his son to get to school, and his own, delivering his signs. Thank you once again to Gary for his generous donation of this bike. As I close out this video, could I possibly make a plea that if you're in South Africa and you have an old bike hanging in the garage or standing in a corner gathering dust, you know you're possibly never going to use it again, donate it to an organization such as BEN, which is the Bicycle Empowerment Network, that looks to collect bicycles, fix them up, train kids on being mechanics, and then they redistribute these bikes into the communities that need them most. Sometimes something as simple as a bicycle can change a person's life. Keep well.